Hello and welcome to today's Crypto and Stocks TA live stream. Today is November 4th, 2021. It's Thursday here in the USA, just after about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This will be the one live stream for this week. And let's go ahead and start off with Bitcoin. And if anybody has any questions for, not questions, but ticker symbol requests, we could do those ticker symbol request live analysis. So let's start with the total crypto market cap. All right, so this is my idea from TradingView right now. It's in my profile. And this is a large resistance range. I might have to adjust this box, but finally we broke up above the resistance range. It's very interesting that's happening here. It's very subtle. It's very quiet. Nobody's really talking about this that much, right? Everyone's talking about Shiba Inu right now. But if you look at the entire total crypto market cap as well, okay, we did just barely break out here. Although on the oscillators, there is a little bit of weakness showing on the day chart. We are still in an uptrend though, so there's nothing to be like super scared about, right? But at a worst case scenario, we could drop in the market. Let's talk scenarios, okay? Worst case scenario, bad case scenario is we drop down in the market negative 25%. And so we would have to think about, okay, what fundamental news reasons would be bad enough for that to happen where we would drop negative 25%. Because if that would bring it, if that happens, that would drop the market down to this support trend line area where patient swing traders and investors are waiting. If we ever get a pullback of that size, we would go long there. We would buy there because that's a significant area of support if it ever gets down to that level. So for me, the areas on the downside I'm looking at is like 2 trillion, 1.68 trillion, and definitely 1.2 trillion down here. That's 50%. Hold on, I need to turn my alerts off for a second. That would be extreme. That's extreme if the market crashes like that over the next 6 months to 1 year. But for now, what it looks like on these charts is, okay, we're trying to find the highest high on the weekly chart on the crypto market cap. But eventually it looks like we are going to get some little bit of a pullback because on some of these shorter term time frames, okay, it's already starting to down cross. Excuse me. So you see on like a 15-minute, right? The rally over the past 2 days has started to fade to the downside. Short term, the H1, we just barely touched this 200 EMA and bounced off of it, okay? But if we're going to get another lower low or retest, like we could pull back. See what I mean? Hold on. I think I need to turn this one alert off for now. That was an old alert from last week. We'll look at Ethereum. But what I'm saying is for the crypto market cap is if this happens, plays out, we might get another pullback or a lower low. All right. So just the fact that we broke out of this is good. We broke out of the resistance range on the 4-hour. Okay. And I was saying on last stream, last week, we have potential upside down head and shoulders. That's good. We broke out. We're retesting this neckline right here in the yellow. So either we're going to go 7% up more to 2.829 trillion, our top side target, or we could fade back down back to this 200 EMA back down to 2.5. Okay. And the intraday momentum is going to show that to me. On the daily though, there is a little bit of loss of power, but it's not completely in the overbought range because I'm looking at kind of like the El Salvador range right here, right? This RSI, if we just copy paste the RSI, okay, we might get one more bounce up maybe. Okay, that would take us to our plus 7% target before bulls get a little exhausted. So it doesn't look completely over. I would say we're in the yellow range. Okay, we're in the yellow warning range. Right, but we did break out, so that's good. If we manage to hold above 2.6 trillion and we never fall back down below that for like 2 months, then I'm expecting more continuous upside. But at some point, if we start to top out in the error here, maybe up to 3 trillion, that's a whole nice round number, right? Then I'll start to look for some intraday patterns if we're going to fold over or not, and if we're going to pull back down to my ultimate long spot down here. All right, so I just want to point that out to people. Okay, so same deal with all these other total 2 and such. Total 2 just broke out of the resistance range all-time high, and we're getting intraday pullback. The market is open, Asia session, so it could just be the Asia session right now, right? And where we are in time is we hit an all-time high, and day traders may be pulling back a little bit. Bitcoin market cap, still, we hit that all-time high and we pull back on Bitcoin market cap, back down to support. Futures, very important. So this is why on the futures chart, okay, you see this top yellow trend line up here, this top yellow trend line. Up here, you see that that's resistance. We have a double resistance up here on futures. That's why we're getting kind of stuck. I'm talking about right here in the X. You have a diagonal resistance and a horizontal resistance. So that creates an X, marks the spot resistance. This is why we're having a problem. Okay, this is why I'm thinking ultimately if we lose momentum, we could fade down all the way down to $52,000 Bitcoin, which is where I might long, or 44,000 Bitcoin where I might long. Okay, so if you're looking for a no FOMO chart setup, a future setup that has a higher probability of making profit, I'm telling you right now, this is the educational setup, okay? I'm making it very clear to people. I'm not telling you to buy. I'm telling you where are good levels of support and value that has a higher percentage chance of making money and going back up. It's down, right? If you just buy now, there's a higher chance we're going to fade down. There's a higher chance of red. If you buy low and sell high, there's a higher chance from green, right? It's just people, do I have the patience to wait for that price? If it's going to pull back down anywhere here below 60,000, 55, 50,000, 45, 40,000, do I have enough patience and discipline to wait and then have enough emotional control to buy it there, put a stop loss and let go and leave that trade? That's how we have no FOMO or less FOMO. Okay, so it's just educational. Okay, I'm not telling anybody what to do here with their money. Just education setups. All right, so we'll just take a quick peek at Bitcoin dominance. We do see Bitcoin dominance rejecting from the 200 EMA here on the daily, pulling back now to about, it looks like a 50% retrace. So this might be an interesting spot here for the Bitcoin dominance. So it's in the 618. Okay, so yeah, I would watch this very closely. Right, we did hit this double bottom and we went up. That's why Bitcoin went up. We came down. That's why altcoins went up as well. And now we might see a quick bounce up on Bitcoin. Possible. That's why I'm watching those two charts, total on Bitcoin chart. All right, now that we get to the actual Bitcoin chart. All right, this is all very important because we're getting a whole grasp on the market. All right, and then if you have any ticker requests, please type it in now, or I'm going to go full speed on my own watch list. So if you have any symbols you want me to look at, please type it now instead of waiting 2 hours until the end. So please type it now. And if I see the question, we'll talk about that after Bitcoin and altcoins. Okay, so with Bitcoin USD, again, we are in a daily ascending triangle pattern for the year, the past 5-6 months. What am I saying? The ascending triangle pattern here, just like that in the blue. Okay, so usually that's either going to break out or it's going to pull back down to support. Okay, break out or pull back down to support. All right, so the fact that we already poked out of here once on the top side. Okay, and we had the upside down head and shoulders, which we did get the pop for one day. Okay, the 5% pop approximately. All right, we hit the pop almost. Actually, excuse me, on this chart it didn't go. It was only a 2% pop and a pullback, and we lost that neckline. Okay, so Bitcoin right now in the Asia session pulling back. Look at my watch just real quick. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of quick pullback in the Asia session. Day traders, all right, pulling back on the position, shorts. And so now that we have this, it's kind of turning into more of a kind of a longer term bull pennant, or just a pennant here, right? or someone could call it a flag if you just measure the head and shoulders, upside down head and shoulders here. But it looks like the bottom side target for this pennant is 60,000. So for day traders, that's our support. 60,000 right here, day trader support, downside target. But we want to watch out for potential trend change reversal. If this pulls back and we lose that support, we're going down to 56,000. All right. And then if we really lose that, then you can see where the trend line support would be somewhere in the 50,000 to 45,000 zone. This is where I'm looking at to go enter long Bitcoin as a swing trader. If I'm a day trader, it's different. I'm looking up for a quick support scalp somewhere here in the 60,000 range if we ever get down there. But if I'm looking for swing trading, longer term holding, right, I'm looking low as I can to get an entry on Bitcoin. I just have to wait for it. So the issue is on our weekly chart here. Let me just turn everything off so we can look very simply. The week is not over for Bitcoin, but if this consolidation right here, you see this is just going complete sideways at the resistance zone on the weekly. That to me is not power. That's hesitation. That's indecision in the market. Right? So if we don't break up above to 70,000 in the next month or two, I'm expecting to see a pullback or a little bit, at least a pullback down to retest 56,000, 50,000 to create the weekly higher low at around 52 to 50,000. So that's my downside target. And you can see in the blue, this is all the zone I'm looking at right here, especially this lower blue 50,000 down here. Okay, so I hope people understand that is if we do not break up, because you see here on the yellow box, I don't know if you can see this, yes, this yellow box right here, resistance, we tested that 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row. That's 21 days in a row. We couldn't go above that. So there's a real resistance there on the order book. Or there's indecision fear is nobody wants to long here and then proceed to lose 25% of their money if the market pulls back 10 to 20% down. Right? Nobody wants that to happen. But the measured move is up or down 10%. Once this pattern completes, we're going either up or down 10%. So that's where I'm setting my targets. If we pull back 10%, that'd be a nice swing, right? If we go up 10%, then okay, then we're continuing to seek out the higher high. All right, so there's two setups here, depending on the situation. So to me, this upside down head and shoulders pattern is over because once we lost the neckline right here, okay, we were supposed to test it and break up. That did not happen, so it's breaking down right now. So what I would do is just mark like that. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm basically marking support and resistance. Support right here at about 60,000, resistance at 64,000. Mid-level heart line, 62,000, right in the middle there. So if you measure this box, it's literally plus or minus 7% from the breakdown of support from right here, like that, or it's plus 7% from the breakout of resistance. I would watch out for that if it actually happens with confirmation. But if you just get one little poke out like that, that doesn't mean anything to me. It has to break out and continue and test and continue. It has to break out, test, and continue like that, either direction. This is real technical analysis now, like classic style. It's longer term though, okay? I'm not talking about day trading, 5-minute scalp. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about longer term swing trading, like what's really going to happen with this market with larger term moves. All right, so that's a big analysis on Bitcoin. So let's get to some questions and requests. Okay, I have a Discord question by one Andy asks, would be great if we know which one has the potential to be the next Shiba or Dogecoin. Okay, that is a big loaded question right there, which I might not be able to answer on stream because it's essentially asking which one is going to go 500 to 1,000% basically. And so that is the $1 million question. I think for me to answer that on stream might be out of the scope. We could talk about that for like 5 hours, but what I'll say is you need to use a combination of technical analysis charts and fundamental analysis. What am I talking about? All right. So let's look at SHIB for a second. Okay. Let's look at SHIB. Experienced, skilled technical analyst would know, and I said this on stream to the guy who asked it to for me. I said, watch the breakout of this channel. If we break out above here, we're going up here. We're going 100% plus on SHIB. That's the setup in one sentence. If you know your technical analysis, you measure this box, right? What was it, 80%? We went 160% for the first move. Then on my stream, I said, what? Like 2 weeks ago. There's a pennant here. Actually, maybe I didn't say it on stream, but. So for me, I was saying the first setup was 950. If we break 950, this thing's going up. Then on my stream, the next stream, after a couple streams after that, I said somebody might want a long 25 cents here. Right? And then after this broke out, I was saying, what's the pattern here? There's a symmetrical triangle pattern, another breakout play. Okay, and the targets are on the left side here. So that's how you use TA, right? You can't just guess. Because I think the problem is if you're international watching my stream, I'm in the USA only. So I only trade USA exchange cryptos. That's why my watch list is so small. It's only 63 coins or whatever, 63, 60 coins. That's why I only focus on those, because a lot of international exchanges do not allow USA citizens to trade on their exchanges anymore. The rules changed. The laws changed. They're doing it for legal compliance reasons, for legal reasons, legal, government, and tax reasons. That's why they close off. So that's why Binance, original Binance.com, they basically shifted. They opened up a Binance USA exchange in US, and all the Binance USA traders were forced to shift over there 2 years ago, late 2019. We all had to move back to Binance.us. That's why my list is the Binance US list. It's 50 to 60 coins. All right. So if you're on an international exchange, you probably have like 500 plus coins you have to look at. And if you're serious about TA, I would say start with market cap down, right? So you need to know you need to know what are the top 10 to 20 cryptos by market cap. What are those by market cap? If you don't know, go to coinmarketcap.com. It's owned by Binance now anyways. And just know that. If you don't know, like if you're wondering like what's my watch list, if you do like what's my watch list, just get the top 25, 50 cryptos from CoinMarketCap and use that as your watch list. Don't start from the bottom pile. Like don't start from coin number 500 just because it's 1 penny. Don't do that, right? That's the I'm gonna call that the beginner's fallacy, right? Of like, oh, something's so cheap, I'm gonna buy that. It's like, well, maybe you want to look at the established coins and stocks first. Like, what are the top 10 coins? Just focus on those first. Top 25. Doge is in top 25. SHIB is also in top 25, right? So there's a reason too, is people are putting their money into the top 10 to 25. Not everyone's putting their money on coin number 500 at the bottom of the list. Okay, so then also, which one has the potential to be the next Shiba or Dogecoin? So you have to realize that Dogecoin and Shiba are essentially meme coins, meme coins, meme, right? It's hype, it's cheap, it's available to buy. Anybody could put in $10, $50, $100, $1,000 into that. But then you also have Elon Musk in the mix, right? Very prominent influencer, CEO on Twitter, right? So whenever you tweet something about Doge or SHIB, it moves the market. And so if you're wondering what the next one is you gotta study technical analysis on your own. I can't, because people expect me to come here on stream and teach me everything I know, or teach them everything I know in 1 hour. And it's like, I think it's impossible. So the way I'm trying to teach people is tell me the chart you want me to look at, and I'll analyze it. And then I just taught you technical analysis, you know what I'm saying? In real time. So if somebody just asked me like, what's gonna go up and make money, is like, that's too much of a broad, open-ended question. We could talk about that for like a year. You know what I mean? So Tia, I just showed you. There's one guy. There's like 10 people in that one stream. I told them the exact setup on SHIB. It was like September 16 or something in my Discord live stream. I rewinded and I looked at him like I told people about that, right? And I told people right here at 25 cents, there's a support level down here. So you got to learn TA. So you can learn by TradingView. Just look at the front of TradingView for education. There's a whole bunch of books on Amazon or Google, right? Just pick some technical analysis books, just go for it. You know what I mean? And then put into practice what you learn, right? But I don't like to answer too many questions because that's not TA. Let's go to TA. So that was the one question I'll answer for today. All right, so we'll do TA. Let's do LRC USD. LRC USD. All right, so we're gonna move on here because everyone asks me the same questions like every stream. So we're just gonna do TA. So here we go. LRC USD. First off, what we do here is I'm gonna check the USDT chart just for some more information, because you want to find a chart that has the most price information on a big exchange. That's one of the keys here. Is this loop ring? Yeah, it is loop ring. It's old school. Okay. So yeah, I kind of like this Bitfinex chart because it has lots of data on it. So let's use a Bitfinex chart. It's old school. I remember the listing of loop ring. All right, so LRC USD. Okay, here we go. This is what I do. All right, so we know that on this chart, LRC is on an all-time high, right? And so we could draw our, even before trend lines, let's draw our resistance. So resistance right now, $1.50. We know that. There's another support down here at $4. Support at $0.86. And if you need upside targets, sometimes I'll use a Fibonacci extension. This is an advanced tool. It's not for beginners. To see that, okay, we have some potential upside. I mean, not potential upside, but potential resistance targets up here all the way up to $2. Anybody could figure that out, just whole numbers, right? And then what I'll do is we got to get the trend line resistance on the bottom side. Okay, so you see here we had this trend line breakout. So anything above basically $1 or 80 cents is kind of risky, because sometimes what happens is we're in this larger ascending triangle pattern like this, boom. Not ascending, is kind of like a symmetrical almost, but it's measurable. So the first measured move is really large. Okay, that's kind of too large. But the first measured move was like 140 something percent. And we kind of went that first target, 200% from the bottom to the top. Yeah, we went 200%. So the first target was hit. So now I'm concerned that this thing might pull back, and where the support is the top of this line, the blue line right here. So there's a support all the way down to here, like $1. So $1 to 90 cent range could be a larger support area on this coin. So I think the problem is a lot of people, they usually bring me charts after a move has been made, right? Because if somebody drew this trend line, I'm not just talking to one person, I'm talking to everybody, is this trend line was established, the pivot point, on July 19th. That was like 5 months ago, right? So a really, really patient long who looked at loop ring would know to buy right here. They would know, because if you're an experienced trader and swing trader, you buy it right here at this. You buy low. You don't buy high. You know what I'm saying? You don't buy high. You don't do this up here. That's FOMO. Right now, if you long this expecting it to go 500%, that's FOMO. Okay, don't do that. You try to look for the lowest spot you possibly can before it makes another move up, right? So if it does this, it might pull back down to 80 over time, 90 or 100. I mean, not 100, $1. That would be a safer spot, okay, educational wise. All right, and how do you figure that out? Well, this is very advanced. Now we're doing this, not for beginners, what I'm talking about. So if we go in here, 90 cents, 80 cents could be the first day trading long, right? Because this thing doesn't have much liquidity and not many people trade this thing as much as like SHIB or DOGE. So you can see here, we're pulling back here. Once we break out of this, it's either going to keep continuing its 1 hour downtrend down to like 86 or 90. It might hit this 200 EMA. So, that's a spot you might want to keep an eye on before it tries to go up one more time. But it needs to cool off and come down first. 15-minute already had its low oversold bounce, right? If someone's trying to day trade this, it's already up at a resistance zone. Okay, so you can see here that the direction right now is not up at the time of this stream. The direction is down trend. Before last week, it was up. You see here, clear up 5 days ago. Now it's cleared down. But sometimes what happens, you get a consolidation down on a short-term time frame and then a breakout. So I'm watching two spots on this. You watch for a break of 116 or a pullback down to 91. Yellow circle like that. All right, so hopefully that that makes sense for you on Loopring. Okay, let's keep going here. LT Litecoin, LTC. Wait, no. LTC, you're talking about LTC Properties, the stock system? Because if you put a dollar sign, you're talking about stocks. So I'm assuming you're talking about LTC Properties. Please confirm. It's probably LTC Properties if you put a dollar sign in there. Yeah, there's only one stock on NYSE. Okay, so we're doing LTC Properties. Another coin? Okay. If you're talking about Litecoin, then you got to put you got to do this. LTC USD. You got to type it like this. So there's just a good lesson there, because if you just type something like LTC, there's actually a stock called LTC. So if you're talking about Litecoin, Forex pair, you gotta add a USD or USDT. Just say it helps. Okay, so Litecoin. Let's go to like a big exchange. Litecoin. We'll use Binance USDT just because it's Binance. Which one has more data? No, we use Coinbase. Coinbase has a lot more data on Litecoin USD. All right, all the way back to 2017. Okay, so Litecoin. This is why I like to use a lot of past data. There's a real resistance here on the ceiling, right at the $400 range, like right here. You know what I'm saying? So $400 is our resistance on the top side yellow box on Litecoin. Then on the bottom side, you can actually draw it like this. Because there's clearly 2 points, there's this resistance, support. I'm actually going to draw it as a rectangle, okay? Because you get clear levels like that. So you can see why perfectly, I'm not the only one looking at it like this. The perfect double bottom support right there at the middle half line, $2, okay? So this is why if you do the TA correctly, the setup will just come to you, is what I'm saying, if you have patience for it. Because once we hit this top and establish the pivot point, somebody could immediately draw this like a couple days after this topped out. This is the May Dogecoin crash. So once this started topping out, you could draw a parallel channel like that, a large one, and then the first target is bam right there at 102. So I'm just saying for future reference, I'm going to leave this parallel channel up for other people and for yourself too, because it's a good tool. So once we have that locked in, now I understand, okay, that's our big levels that we're playing in between of the sandbox. Then our immediate resistance is like 233.58 up here on the top right here. Immediate support at 140. And then we're drawing a trend line resistance and trend line resistance, trend line support like that. So it's essentially in a symmetrical triangle. This is copying Bitcoin's pattern, kind of like the up, down, right? We went up, we pulled back, and then we went up again. So Litecoin is very correlated with Bitcoin. So I'll keep an eye on Bitcoin as well if you're thinking about Litecoin. So all Litecoin has to do is break out. If we're going to have a breakout setup, scenario number one is if we break out above $210, then the measure move should be 40% in a bull case scenario to $300 target. And then maybe a $400 target again in the future. So I'll put these two dots here. But if we fail, the first immediate support is like a 175 right hit down here. See that? Because if this pulls back down, that's the trend line support, right? So if someone's a day trader, swing trader, I would try to do this, right? Because you get 20% upside in the triangle and then 10% stop loss or 50%, 10% to the downside. That's your 2-to-1 trade on a small position size. And that's disciplined pro trading, swing trading, right? If you long it just in the middle of space right now, there's actually negative 25% downside. That's why I'm not buying this right now as a long. It's just rejected down from the intraday resistance, so I'm not going to jump into it just yet. So there's two spots is what I'm saying. It's either going to need to break out like that, then you have a chance to long here. But if it pulls back or it pulls back deep, you have another chance to long somewhere in this range. Okay, so this is the discipline, no FOMO style of a swing trader. Is you draw the setup, and heck, I can even put alert. Let's put up an alert here, because without alerts or orders, it's just all talk. So let me put this right here for us. Long entry, trend line support. That's all I have to know on this guy, on Litecoin. Long entry, trend line support. Right there. And I could send an alert on the top side in case it breaks out. And now I know. If it breaks to 17.25, LTC USD, potential breakout, long play, entry setup. This is how I prepare for a market. Very simple. Just do some TA, and now we have alerts on top or bottom. As long as I could check the alerts, those are the two setups. But if we really break down, let's say the market goes super bear, Litecoin could be in trouble. We just measured this move. Negative 20% down from the breakout would bring us back down to 139, right? So this is a super long. These are, on the downside, these are real long entries I want to buy, because the market is going to do only two things in the future, and the price action will explain to me if we're going to keep going up or not. You know what I mean? It could do that too. We could stop here. If something bad happens in the market, we pull back, and I'm definitely longing in this zone down here. But if we break out, then I got to catch it before it goes too high. Okay, Litecoin. So let's go next. SPY. 467 calls tomorrow. Okay, SPY. So my SPY chart's kind of messy. You look 467 calls. Okay, so a very, very tight scalp. Okay, so for this particular situation, all right, so tomorrow's Friday, and there are a few companies reporting earnings. So please keep in mind we're still in stock earnings. You probably already know that, but just want to let people know, okay, if they don't know that. So just rewinding, we're in a strong uptrend. Okay, I know I have a lot of written stuff here. This is from my idea, but for this particular case, if you're trying to scalp this thing, I would, for calls, maybe watch futures, because a lot of pro traders, they watch futures in the morning and overnight. It gives you some kind of hint. It's not always perfect. Okay, where's my stock list? So you probably want to add ES1 and ES2 on your watch list. Right? A lot of people do this, is they go intraday on like a 1 hour or something like that on futures, and if we're going to go up tomorrow on futures, this will be already green tomorrow overnight. So that's one way, one indicator, instead of flying blind in a SPY tomorrow. But also, if it looks like you're a day trader, we are in the overbought zone, so it's kind of yellow flag to me right now. On multiple time frames, we're in a yellow zone of resistance. I'm going to start long and go in. The 4-hour is still in an uptrend. That's fine. Clearly in an uptrend. The 1-hour, though, is losing a little bit of momentum. It kind of reminds me of, there's a lot of lines here, but it reminds me of this spot, October 15. You see we got a little pullback here. Okay, so I'd watch out for that. I would watch futures tomorrow morning, overnight, and in pre-market. Watch the futures. Because on the H1, we could pull back just for one day, just like this. So I'll watch out for that. On the 15-minute, we're still holding that support. On a 5-minute, we're still holding the support. But if I was day trading this tomorrow, this is the pattern I'm looking at, this triangle right here. You see that if we do not break above 467, which is where you're trying to do 467 calls tomorrow. So it sounds like you're trying to long 467 and expect the market to go up. Just be aware of potential downside of this 466.28 downside target in this 5-minute triangle right here. Although this is an ascending triangle, this is a real pattern here. This. So for me, I would watch futures to see, did it actually poke out and hold? And then I would probably initiate a 467 call like that. If it does this, that's safer. But if it just pokes out and falls back in, then I would initiate something that like lower. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, it's not an oversold condition, so it's floating up here in the air right now. So on the H1, there is a higher chance we could pull back down once. So hopefully that helps. That's getting kind of complicated with options and day trading and stuff like that. So good luck to you on your options call trading. But we want to use TA though. It's not about luck, actually. It's all about technical analysis, disciplined trading, stop loss. Excuse me. What is the best way to learn stock TA and find gainers? Well, you have to learn technical analysis. Okay, so I would not start off with, so try not to start off with books about like options and futures if you're a beginner. Just start off with a technical analysis like encyclopedia. That's what I would say. Because you need to know what is support, what is resistance, what is price, what are candlesticks, what are trend lines, what are horizontal support and resistance, what are these tools here? And if you sign up for TradingView, which you are, then it's like, what are these tools on the left side? What is this trend line? What is this horizontal line? What is parallel channel? Then you start looking that up on TradingView and Google. Then it's like, what are these indicators up here in the built-ins? What is this? Right? But the first thing you need to start off with is price. Price is king because every single tool and indicator is analyzing the price, the candles or the line chart. But candles are more advanced, right? So that's where you start off with. I would say just find a technical analysis encyclopedia, start there. And then TradingView is your next best bet. Then like Google, YouTube, books. So that's what I recommend, an encyclopedia of technical analysis first, type of book first. Instead of like a biography, you know what I mean, of some guy who made $1 million or whatever. It's like, who cares about that, right? It's like, that's good for him. For you, though, is you need to learn the real information, knowledge, and the tools. What is technical analysis encyclopedia type of book? All right, CRO, PROG, Progenity. All right, PROG. PROG. All right, so here's a good example. Here's a good example on Progenity. Actually, before Progenity, I'll give a quick like story about that. It's like if I equate stock trading, crypto trading, investing, it's like sports. It's like music. You kind of have to learn the basic rules, the fundamentals of the game first. Like football or basketball is probably, if you played any sports at all, like you have to learn how to dribble the ball first. You need to learn how to shoot. For baseball, you need to learn how to hold the ball, how to throw the ball, how to catch the ball. Football, same thing. How to throw the ball or kick the ball, right? And then you have to buy the ball, right? And then you got to learn that. And then you have to learn the rules of the game. So stock trading, crypto trading is basically heavyweight champion boxing with the financial champions of the world. you kind of don't want to step into the ring unless you're ready, or else you could get knocked out. You're gonna lose all your money in 10 trades, right? That's why 90% of day traders lose some or all their money within 1 year to 3 years. So I would advise people, educationally wise, is to study and practice as much as you can. Study the books, study TradingView, paper trade in here at the bottom. You have free paper trading on TradingView. Infinite paper trading. I love this tool. You could trade USD cryptos and stocks as much as you want with fake money. Just practice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so Progeny, PROG. Here we go. First thing I would do is, because it has been downtrending and now it turned to an uptrend, right? We have to know that Progeny is at a resistance point right here at $4. We hit that and we pull back from it, okay? Progeny is in a clear uptrend, but the fact that it's so obvious now, I would get a little bit careful. We did just bounce off this trendline support. So you see here, this bounce is not random. All right, this is how we're doing technical analysis. So it could break out, possible. Very steep though. When things are a little too steep, I get a little cautious. But if Progeny wants to go, okay, it's gonna go up. It could go, according to this, anywhere to $6, or if it breaks out, $6 to $10 possibly, and that's just about our left side resistance targets on the left here. You see that? So it's all making sense now. But the problem is this is kind of a really obvious trade, and it's starting to lose momentum. So I would be very careful on Progeny, because a lot of traders in the past couple of weeks, all across the internet, were already talking about going long here, buying here, and buying here one last time. So they're kind of already in this trade. You know what I'm saying? It's the obvious trades are a little dangerous, is what I'm saying. Just be careful. But if we do go up, okay, yeah, there could be another 86 to 100%. It's very common place for these types of low flow stocks. And another way to get some targets, okay, Fibonacci advanced tool. We do it backwards, and you can see that this 618 level right here, this is advanced. This could be a target, all up in there, right? You could do it that way too. Let me just check the Fibonacci extension. Okay, so the problem is our Fibonacci extension for upside targets has all been met. So it's relatively high, is what I'm saying. The rally, okay? So the too long didn't read for people who are just like, who cares about all this? Is it going to go up or down? Well, it's basically on the longer term charts, it looks like it wants to pull back a little bit. But on the shorter term charts, it looks like it wants to try to bounce, attempt one last time before the pattern tries to break out. Although it's not at a low spot. So don't be surprised if we pull back one more time and then it goes up. Okay, because day traders, it's at a relatively high spot day trading. On an H1, the last low was here at $3 at, that's pre-market though. So it was this just went up this morning, right? So somebody's trying to continue this up, and there's a 4-hour setup. So it's kind of leaning towards somebody's trying to make it go up. Proj. But on the TA, I need to see this thing break out, this flag right here, this pennant. I need to see real confirmation. Okay, so this could be the next setup. That's how it could go to 10% up. And then on a longer term, really experienced traders are waiting to see, okay, are we going to break $4? If we break $4, some people might play that breakout trade to target the $7 target on the upside. But the fact is again, we're not in a super low area of value. So this is like a yellow light trade, I'm going to call it. This is not the best spot to long this, but if someone's going to try to do it before earnings, this is the reward to risk. Is you're going to have to risk 20% downside to try to capture your 50% upside if it's going to happen. Okay, so this is not an all-in trade in my opinion, because the 20% downside, you can't put all your money in that, right? So maybe if I were to play this, maybe I'd put 10% of my capital in this right? With a 20% stop loss or 25% stop loss to the downside to try to capture 50% on the top side. Create an OCO triple order on my stock exchange and just let that thing go. You know what I mean? Emotionally, just let it go and check my targets as I go each day. So just beware on that. Okay, I'm kind of going a little too long, so I'm going to speed things up. CRO, you're talking about crypto? If you're talking about crypto, please type in the Forex pair because there's a CRO stock. So which one is it? I will do XRP after this if the CRO person doesn't respond. Okay, so just for anybody watching, if you're ever on a stream for cryptos, you got to put the money pair. If not, you would be signifying the stock, the Australian stock. All right, so if we're talking about crypto, you got to find. Let's find a good chart first. So I'm liking this OK exchange chart. It's got a lot of data. It's nice. KuCoin's got a lot of data too. That's nice. What do we got? Bithumb. Bithumb's pretty nice too. So this looks like it debuted in Asia first before US. The US data only goes for like 2 days. So this is why I don't use the Coinbase chart for this. Don't do that. Pick an established chart. You need like a year of data at least. So let's go one of any of these Asian exchanges. I like the Huobi chart because the Huobi chart, you can see here, there's a lot of upper wicks on this side. This is a very nice pattern to draw. So if you draw this, nice ascending pattern. You see here though, it's getting kind of close to that top side, all right? If we just freeze frame this, take a breath. If I look at this chart, there's a higher risk of this thing eventually coming down. Just if you just look at the chart, right? It's like, okay, this thing could, it's closer to the ceiling than it is closer to the floor. So what I'm saying is anything above to like 36 cents, this is the resistance zone up here. You see that? So if you just long blind right now, you just buy this thing right now, there could be extreme downside. There could be 25 to negative 50% downside. This is how people lose all their money if they don't know TA. Be very careful of that if you're a swing trader. Look at the pattern, right? For me, I'm looking to long either down here, that's the ultimate long, or hold on, that's my train of thought. There's someone asking a question. Um, or I might long somewhere in the middle right here. Okay, just closer to the bottom. The only way I'm gonna long this, I can't even buy this coin, but CRO up here, I could buy it on Coinbase, is I need to see if this is gonna break out to go crazy moon. I need to see this. Then I might initiate the long somewhere up here. Okay, but now, right now in time, I'm not interested in CRO right now as a swing trader. All right, but if you're trying to day trade this thing, you just gotta wait for a low oversold touch. So it already happened like 24 hours ago, or 12 hours ago, right? It pumped up 12%. Now it's pulling back. So this thing is still in a 15-minute uptrend, so that's fine. There's no nothing to be scared of. But the thing is if you zoom out though, then you see, oh yeah, we could get a pullback. Anything above 20 cents, you could still maintain an uptrend, so it could pull back hard. So again, I would caution people is usually when they bring me charts, it's after the large move has been made, or they see a lot of green on the watch list. Whereas here on CRO, there's a huge buying signal right there, so you buy the breakout of the neckline, or you buy the retest right here. Right, these are two spots you can long, or if you're aggressive, there's a third opportunity right here on the breakout of the triangle. You see that? So now that we're getting close to the resistance, you can see why a lot of people are hesitating in this zone because like, it's resistance. I might not want to. I want to sell some there. All right. So hopefully that helps you. Whatever time frame you're on, try to buy as low as possible. If you're long, that's how you have no FOMO. This trend line was here for 6 months straight. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of can you put the TA, draw the lines, and then you're off to the races. Just like that. Okay, what do we have next here? What happened with XRP USD? All right, great. XRP. Ripple. Ripple, what's going on? First, you have to know that Ripple got delisted from USA exchanges, I believe earlier this year. So please note that is that American traders, we cannot trade XRP anymore in America anymore. It's delisted. The SEC institution basically got into like a lawsuit with Ripple and kicked them off the crypto exchanges. So it's still popular internationally though. I read an article that like something about like Europe, people are very bullish on XRP, which is fine, you know, because it's kind of like China banned Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's not dead. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing I view with XRP. It's just it's not available in America, but Ripple's still alive. All right. So what happened here? Okay. Let me use a better chart. I don't like this chart. I like this chart. I like the Bitstamp chart because you get a lot more data. Okay, I like this. TA, this is what you need. See that from the listing. Okay, so now you see XRP. You're like, what's going on? Well, there's a resistance right here, large resistance at $3 to 227. So I'm gonna draw in the yellow box right here. So now you see that. Then we have a large support down here at like 13 cents, the ultimate low spot for now for this year. Okay, so in this particular case, we draw a trend line, and you can see we're riding that trend line up. All right, so after August, this line was here for 3 months straight, and now you have a triangle developing on Ripple. Also, I'll draw it like that. Okay, so once you have a triangle developing on Ripple, you measure the triangle. This is what I'm saying. The potential on Ripple, if it breaks out, is like a 35% minimum, which will bring us straight to resistance. Right here, that blue dot is 35% up. If we really go the full triangle, it could go 126% from the breakout, bringing us back to an all-time high range. So if somebody's going to try to play the breakout educational-wise, is there's still that 25% stop loss on the bottom side because of this candle body wick right here, right there. You see that? So then the first target would be right here at $1.85, and the second target's up here at 274. So this is very, very easy, not easy, but disciplined swing trading breakout if you're going to try to do it. Although it could pull back on you, right? So I would put a small position maybe now if I was doing this. Very small position now, if just in case it breaks out. But if it pulls back, then I might buy again down here. Because if you buy low, you have a very nice, some decent protection on the downside. You know what I'm saying? If it pierces down a lot, then it's actually a trend change. So then it might not go up anymore. So that's why you got to set your alerts. If you're free trading view, you only have one alert. So you got to pick your spot. Either put it on the top if you think it's going to break out, or put it on the bottom here at a support level. One thing I would note though is this thing does have an upside down head and shoulders pattern, which it looks like it's trying to test that. If this is true, then it's going minimum 15 to 30%. So it looks like it wants to go to 183 if bulls keep buying. If not, we're going to pull back down to 93 or 84, and then I might long it there to start off something. All right, so hopefully that helps. Okay, next. Sol. All right, Sol. Solana. Okay, so here's a good example of setting alerts right here. Okay, so this is why if you're serious about trading, you kind of need to get like a paid account on TradingView, because if you're free, first thing is your TA charts do not save, right? So there's the problem number one. Number two is you only get one alert. So you're only gonna get like one chance to try to catch something, right? So I would recommend, if you're serious about trading and you want to get into this for real and you're not a complete beginner, then maybe try a pro or a premium account. At least try a pro account so you get more alerts, right? Because if you see here my alert I wrote on the stream like a week ago, there's a long entry potential right here, and then that's the actual breakout, right? Because I was saying head and shoulders potential. Watch for this, right? Boom, 16% to 32%. We went 16% exactly and pulled back, and then we went an additional, hit our 32% target. So somebody out there knows this technical analysis. Also is riding the trendline support. There were two chances to buy Solana: riding the trendline support or trading the breakout, or trading this breakout if you're really aggressive. Okay, so I'm just showing you an example of how alerts work, how support and resistance work. Now that this is over, I'm just going to delete that stuff. So somebody's question is, how do we know the all-time high is going to hit the peak on Solana? The thing is, we don't know, right? The thing with technical analysis is we do not know with 100% certainty anything in the markets. For me, it's just more about chart patterns, okay? So if I erase everything in Solana, we know, okay, we're in blue sky breakout territory in Solana right here. It's blue sky breakout. If I'm very sensitive to the charts, I am seeing a 5-wave Elliott wave pattern like this. So we could be in the final stage of Solana now for this year. Because we usually happens a 5-wave Elliott wave pattern this advanced is you'll get the ABC pullback down. So for me, if you're looking for a large all-time high signal, I don't see it yet. Although this could have been the signal. That's why I was telling people watch out for $200 resistance right here, which on the short term was the correct spot. $200 was that immediate top for the pullback. But we're still in this uptrend right now. It looks like Solana trying to find its highest high. So how do you find tops and bottoms? It's challenging. But if you're very, very good at chart patterns, okay, and technical analysis, you'll be able to time it generally in a spot. So right now, not really. Although it looks like it wants to go one more move up before a pullback down. Okay, so how do we know when you hit the all-time peak? I would say study your candlestick patterns. That's all I can say right now. Okay, because I can't teach everything I know in 2 minutes to somebody. Is study your candlestick patterns. It sounds like you don't know what the candlestick patterns of tops and bottom reversals are. Okay, so study those. I would recommend that. And your indicators, but price, because I knew here, if you know what a shooting star is, this is why on the stream I told somebody this is going to be that immediate top right here. Watch out for this topping out right here on Solana, and that's exactly what happened. Because there's a real candlestick pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 3 candlestick patterns. Beware. Right now, I'm not seeing that, although an evening star pattern could set up so we could get an immediate pullback down to support at 213.70, right? So you have to know your candlestick patterns. All right, hold on. I got to turn my light on in my room for a second. Okay. Okay. We got a stock example. Hopefully this is stock and not a crypto. If you're talking about KROS Therapeutics, this is what you're talking about. Ooh, we just had earnings. What was earnings on? Earnings was today. Was this aftermarket? This probably a biotech. So there's probably something that happened here. Let me just check. It's something major. Okay, is it this? The preliminary results from phase 2 anemia thrombocytopenia study. Okay, so it's a phase 2 trial news pump. All right, so biotechs, I would be careful on biotechs because biotechs are so reliant upon the CDC and FDA. You know what I mean? The reports. So I'll go back to Tesla. Yeah. So what I'd be careful for is on KROS is it looks like it's seeking out its higher high, right? So if somebody's very patient on KROS Therapeutics, if it pulls back deep to like 44, that's where a disciplined swing trader would probably long here. Okay, because all of this on left side is resistance, resistance, resistance. These are upside targets for KROS. If it ever starts to meme moon, right? If it goes like to 70 or 90, that's all-time high range, right? But if this thing is like gonna pull back, because it's right at a resistance zone right now, so I'd be very careful of longing this thing right now, right? But so we could do like this. You could draw some Fibonacci, get some targets. So it just broke. It's hitting the 50%. Okie dokie. That's fine. Now the only thing is it's now in an overbought area, so I'll be careful on this one. Please be careful on these types of biotechs because people can get wrecked on biotechs so bad because there's a lot of shorts that want to destroy these types of, this is their bread and butter to crash this thing down. So we have to look intraday. It is very overbought intraday. Okay, yeah, 15-minute looking like it wants to get a pullback. So just be careful on this guy, on this one, right? This thing might pull back down to like $50 or $45. If you're gonna try to long this thing, you want to long it at a lowest price possible. So like I'm saying, is if it ever pulls back down to $44, $40 down here, is where I might be interested in this. I want the news to get priced in and the sell-off to get priced in. If it's going to happen, then I might initiate a small position on this KROS. But keep in mind that KROS is not like a Tesla, you know what I'm saying? Like not everybody's in it. It's a news pump. So eventually the news will get priced in and then shorts will take over and try to pull it down. But if it's going to trend change reverse like a Progenity, this is why I'm interested. If it's going to turn to Progenity stock, I want to buy on the next low, is what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Somewhere here, like a 40 to 45, because this thing is definitely overbought. It's not low down here. It's not a low price down here. This is a real setup. So if I was to trade KROS and I saw this on the charts, I would have been prepared for this. I'm like, okay, this thing's going to pump. Let's see. This thing's going to go 20 to 25%, and it went how much? It went 30%, so that's basically the target. Number one is met, right? And so I would have waited for the earnings release, and once I saw the momentum building, and then I would have caught it, tried to. That's an extreme dangerous situation, though. I don't recommend beginners to do that. So, or I'm saying like day traders to do that. So what I'm saying is if you pull back, that's a safer spot. Just be careful. Biotechs are so volatile. Watch out on that. Okay, Tesla, everybody's favorite car. So Tesla is overbought. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but you know, instead of comparing the TA, it's like if did you actually try to trade it though? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it profit or loss? Is I guess is the bigger question. So Tesla is we had this all-time high breakout. Okay. Writing that trend line. If you're in my Discord or in my live stream, we talked about this like a long time ago. That this thing's an uptrend. I know some members were longing this somewhere in this zone, mid-September, right? Then we get the meme hype breakout up 50%. Okay, our measure move. The first measure move of this thing is over, right? It's getting pretty overbought, honestly. I mean, how high can this thing go? You know what I'm saying? You just never want to be the guy who buys the top of a hype move, and then you just crash down. Like that's a horrible scenario. So now we have a gap resistance. You see here, this is our big line in the sand on the downside. Are we gonna get a gap fill to the downside on Tesla? Maybe. Right. I would wait to see on in like a week or two. So this went full kind of like meme moon. On our weekly chart RSI, it's pretty high. Okay. This last high was 92 before we got a strong pullback of, but that was the right before the pandemic. So this might be a 1K scenario, but it is getting into that high zone. Whenever it gets to this high purple, it pulls back like negative 20% to like a negative 40%. I would be careful on Tesla right now. When there's a crowded trade, when everybody's doing it, just be careful. It's like what Warren Buffett said. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. So people are greedy right now on Tesla, so I'm fearful on Tesla, you know what I mean? I'm not scared. I'm saying if I could short it, I would, but all the shares on my broker are already taken. So that's a big flag that somebody out there, big institutions, they're getting ready to short this bad boy down. Because if you realize just using simple RSI, this is not low. This was low. This is not low. Okay, so on the TA charts, doesn't matter what the hype chats are saying online, like on like Reddit and stuff, you know what I mean? Is if someone's going to hold this thing for 6 months, this is not a good spot to buy this thing right now if you're trying to trade it. You want to wait for a big, deep pullback. So this year we had two on Tesla, March 5th and May 17th. And then the last kind of big breakout was right here, August 17th, before the very, very last one was right here at like October 18th. But that's already too high. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get low areas of value. Somebody bought anywhere in this zone, the triangle setup, you'd be up 80% and probably be selling your profit tomorrow. So, you know, intraday, it's getting a little bit suspicious on the 4-hour H41H chart. Day traders are going to do their thing. Just they're going to keep trading up and down. But I'm talking about like longer term swings, right? This thing has triple momentum loss. So I'm like, oh man, this thing might pull back hard soon and people are going to cry all over the internet. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be those guys, those type of guys, right? Because deep pullback would bring us right to not back down to 900. 900, 800 is where I'm looking for interesting Tesla long. Let's just use the charts in the history though. Where does this thing usually top out? Let's see. I use a Fibonacci from move to move. Let's say from like breakout to breakout. Yeah, see, it can come back down to the 618 Fibonacci like that. It hit it 2 times. See right there at that one leg. So if I do the same logic that, okay, that kind of happens, then if this is our top, the 618 is $800. And $900. Okay, so this is where I'm looking for the gap down, or at least the pullback down to $1,000. That's our big number in the sand. So I know it's really hard. Sometimes even for me, it's a challenge, right? No FOMO. You see something going up a lot, you're like, oh man, I missed it. I missed Tesla, or I missed whatever stock. It went up like a 50, 100%, and all my friends traded it, and all these people online traded it. The hardest thing to do is say no and walk away from the computer. Or say no and move on to the next chart. Be like, okay, if I miss Tesla and I'm not going to buy long now, where am I going to buy long? This is how I set alert. If this is our zone, our pullback zone, I'm going to buy at $800.50 if it gets down there. Potential long 618 fib, potential long entry. Okay, so that's some interesting spot of value. It could take like 6 months though. But another spot I might be interested in, somewhere like 900. Well, somebody gotta ask for a crypto. So ask me for a ticker. I'm doing the request list right now. So Tesla, 50% fib, potential long entry. Right? And now 1000, I'm just going to write that down as psychological 1000. Keep in mind, this is after the Tesla stock split too. It's kind of funny. We went back up to 1000. That's the market though. We call it support level. Okay. All right. So next question. What do I think about Facebook rebranding? Okay. Facebook rebranded to Meta. All right. People don't know this. Facebook rebranded to Meta. And I'm not one to really do a lot of opinions because my one person's opinion like doesn't even matter that much. You know what I'm saying? But the TA is what matters, and the financials for stocks is what matters. The financial earnings. So for me, all I'm saying is if Facebook is rebranding to Meta, the metaverse, okay, virtual reality, augmented reality, all that kind of stuff. The only thing that matters to me as an investor is can they execute and are they going to make money? That's all that matters. Sales, revenue, sales and revenue, products, services. I think can they sell? Is it accessible? Because Facebook as a social media platform was very profitable for them for like since whenever it started. Like I forgot when it started, 15 years ago or something, right? Very profitable on advertisement revenue and such. So if they're going to shift over to meta platforms and metaverse, is okay, well, what products and services as a business are they going to be able to sell? Are they going to have advertisements inside of their meta platforms, right? Is going to, like in my virtual reality goggles, am I going to see a little banner ad? It's going to be interesting, right? Like augmented reality glasses, like is there going to be an advertisement in there or something? Or how are they going to sell glass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is like, that's what I'm starting to think about the future. Can they execute on it? They have money to do it. It's going to take some time though. It's going to be another decade or 2 decades, right? Before they can really mature in that industry. That it's going to be affordable for everyone enough to buy something like that and to get those types of products. Because corporations, they're probably just in prototype stage right now, ideation. Like they're not in a I I don't think they're in any type of production stage for any type of platform or service right now. Although maybe I'm wrong about that, but corporations, it takes years for that stuff to happen. Because the initial Google, Facebook, Instagram, like that took 10, 15 years to mature. So if meta platforms, metaverse is the next big thing, virtual reality augmented, it's going to take us another 10 to 15 years. Can Facebook do it? Maybe, right? Mark Zuckerberg, smart guy. They got a lot of money. It's just, do they have the right team? And are they going to make the right products and services that's going to produce sales and revenue? If so, if all those check boxes are yes, then investors are going to jump back into Facebook. They're going to forget about whatever this social media stuff is and jump into meta platforms once it changes. But it needs to make money. That's all investors care about. And like no scandals, criminal scandals in the company. Okay. Um, can I do some crypto chart analysis? All right. Well, I already did like a couple cryptos, so let's just quick rewind, okay? And usually I don't do 5 requests per person. This is a free stream. So for Bitcoin, okay, this is my big idea. This is my profile. If you follow me, you already know this probably. Is we're in a daily ascending triangle pattern, and 2 scenarios is going to happen. Either we're going to break out and continue up, finally hitting our 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, 100K targets on the upside. But if not, we're going to pull back to immediate support over time to like 54,000 or like a 50,000. So we're still in the ascending triangle pattern. It's just, are we topping out here? Maybe. If we lose 58,000, then we are topping out there. Okay, so then I'm looking to long at like 53 or 50 or 45. I'm looking to long there if this is going to be our pattern. You see here, if it's going to pull back right there, I want to long right there in 52,000 range for Bitcoin. All right. Let me do Link because that's a bigger crypto. It sounds like you're trading international, so based upon those coins. All right, so link again, where's our resistance and our support? Resistance right here, $34, $35. Resistance 42.50. You see that? Anybody could draw those lines if you know TA and you know what you're doing. So you have to understand that. Then support on the downside is 28, 25, 20. Okay? And then you get your triangle and lock this guy in. This is my style. I like to lock the price in because then you get real setups that comes to you. Okay, so here on Link is what I'm saying. Any experienced long swing trader knows they had like 5 times the buy right here. You just buy this trend line support, bread and butter, discipline, don't listen to anybody else on the internet. You just buy this thing, put a stop loss, and you're in the trade. You would be up 25% or 10% or whatever percent, right? But if you don't know technical analysis and you're buying with your eyes closed based off a watch list on the side, there's no context, right? There's no way you're like, are we at the bottom or at the top? Like, what's going on, right? That's why you got to use TA. That's why you got to use TA, right? Because if I bring this pattern back, then we can see, ooh, nice. We might get a 25% breakout on Link to $40 target on the top side. Or it could be 20%, $25 target to the downside. Big targets, okay? But the fact that we're in the uptrend, it's there. We just double topped at $33, so be careful, be careful. Okay? Be careful. Don't be the guy who's going to buy the top and get destroyed in a pump like a 10% loss like that. Please don't be this guy. The trader who buys here because of FOMO and then you just lose 10% for no reason in one day. Like, happens to so many people, right? That's why you got to get ahead of the game. Got to get ahead of people. How do you get ahead of people? By doing longer term technical analysis. This trend line was here for a very long time. So I could have put an alert down here at the support side. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, for example. We have our head and shoulders that's been broken and retested. So if this breaks down intraday 2%, 3% from the neckline, my target to enter is 30. That's a nice round whole number. Let me set an alert. Boom, right here. Link USDT. What is it? Intraday. Long entry setup. Okay. And then the second spot would be like a 29. And why am I saying that? Because I'm just looking immediate left. There's so much support right here in the blue. Sometimes it likes to pierce down below the line. That's how market makers and big institutions can just kick people out of the trades. They know a lot of traders want to buy at 30, so they're going to push it down all the way to 28 on purpose, kick everybody out, buy their shares, and take people's money. That's what the game of market making and institutions are. You don't want to get caught in that. So since I know that from experience, I'm going to put not a buy order, but I'm going to put an alert down here. This is my second long entry potential. Day trade entry, like a 15-minute, right? Because I want to see low price. This is floating in the middle of air. So I'm not interested in this particularly, not right after we have a head and shoulders and this bounced up to a resistance. Not for me. This is a good spot to short, possibly, right? If it pulls back down one more time, there's the long entry right there. And then you could, somebody educational wise could make a 4% scalp. But if you're trying to make more money than that, educational wise, then I zoom out. This is why I swing trade. Zoom out. Look for an entry at the 30, but then I'm using a much larger stop loss with a smaller position size. And it's like a 5% or 10% stop loss on a small position to try to capture the 10 to 20%. If it goes 35%, it's great. I'm going to sell like way up here for the swing trade. Okay. So again, if you're a day trader, just try to buy as low as possible. All right. If you're a swing trader, this trend line was here for such a long time, right? The trend line right here, the bottom one. If you know technical analysis, there's 1 month ago of long entries right here. And if, like right here on October 19th, is if somebody were to play this breakout off the trendline support bounce, yes, 10% stop loss is big, but then it went 20 to 25, 30%, the top side target, right? There's another trend line here. See that? Hit that target exactly. And then they sold off. There's a little bit of a fight there and sold off. Bears won. Pull back. Bounce attempt, head and shoulders. Pull back, higher low. Bulls trying to maintain the higher low. All right. So I'll just watch for 31.26 and $30. This is how you get ahead of the market. And if it pulls back to 29, 28, 30, if it pokes out like that, then just long that and believe in technical analysis and put a proper, risk management and stop loss and stuff like that. Okay, because if you have no stop loss, one of my former mentors, this is his quote: "If you do not have a stop loss in trading, then you are gambling." If you do not have a stop loss in your trading, you are gambling. Why? Because you're risking everything if you don't have a stop loss. If you put all your account money in, you're risking everything. That's gambling. Okay? Trading is, if you want safer trading, is you only risk 1 to 2% capital on each trade, right? Depending on your account size. If you're very good, if you have a high win percentage rate, then most institutions would increase the position balance size to maybe 10% or something. That's somebody who has like a 70%, 80% win rate, right? You need to know that off the bat. Track yourself on Excel spreadsheet. That's what the pros do. They have to log in their trades at a pro day trader or a junior day trader, senior day trader at a firm. They have to write their trades down into the system, in their system, their TradeStation system. Most people starting out, they don't do anything like that. They just proceed to lose 80%, 90% of the money and just quit the market, right? But you don't want to turn into that type of person. If you're trying to survive and thrive in the market, you got to do technical analysis. You got to know it and learn it first. Get good areas of value. Position sizing properly, and meaning not 100% in the trade every single time, right? Maybe 10%. Maximum, make 25%. And then you set your stop loss at a proper spot. You don't do this, you don't do negative 40% stop loss. There's no point in doing that on a trade. Where's the nearest candle wick? Like a 5%, maybe a 10%. Then your upside target, make sure you're getting 2 to 1 risk. Your sell target is 20% at 35, first target, right? If it goes crazy up, then your second target sell $40. So that's how you have less FOMO than other people in this market. And I guarantee you, this is what professional traders are doing. They're doing the charts. Swing traders, investors, this is how they make money, bread and butter. Less emotions, less hype. More disciplined TA. I'll do the next two really fast because I've never seen these before. DYDX. So obviously, this is an international. All right, for this one, DYDX, first thing I recommend for you is try to find a chart that has the most. It's going to take some investigation. Basically which exchange listed it first. And then we'll get to Ethereum. So I just pick one for this. We'll do a Binance. All right, so DYXD is, to me, there's such little price information. It's just lost that 618 support. Okay, so the next target's right here, 1367, $12, $10. This thing is in a downtrend, so be careful. Okay, this thing is not going up right now. This thing needs to reverse and go up for me to make a long entry somewhere there. So downside targets, I just told you that. So please plan responsibly. All right, so next, AKRO. Another one. Let me check Hyobi. Okay, so this one's different. Acropolis is different. See, this is why not all cryptos are created equal. They're not. Some cryptos are better than other cryptos. So again, if you're just starting out, if you're brand new to crypto, this week, this month, this year, um, depending on if you're USA or international, is don't start with coin number 1000 on the list. Don't start with that. Start with Bitcoin first. Start with Ethereum first. Start with Cardano first, right? The top 10 cryptos first. Start with those first. Don't start with crypto number 5,000 down on the list just because it's 0.0005 cents, right? Because nobody's really looking at that one right now. There's an issue with liquidity is what I'm saying. Because if you buy something and then nobody can buy it from you or nobody wants to buy it from you, then the value, it's not actually worth that much. All right, so AKRO is okay. It's a little bit bounced up, 80%, right? But it is in an upward wedge. That's fine. It looks like it just broke out past the resistance of 4 cents. Okay, so the problem is it's not low on AKRO, which would have been right here. And you could have put a 10% stop loss and then it never went down. And now somebody up 100% on this one. But again, AKRO is like such a small altcoin. I'll be careful. This is heavily correlated with Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin pulls back. Probably AKRO is going to pull back as well. So be careful of that. If somebody's going to try to day trade along this, I'll be careful. It's losing momentum. It's losing momentum. If you're going to try to day trade, wait for the lowest low price, which was 12 hours ago, okay, to make a 5%. But I'm looking more like long term. So I'm looking for lower place to enter. I would look down here in like a 30 upper 3 cents range. Okay, but if it happens to break out above 4 cents and goes crazy, the upside target would be obviously any of these resistances to the left side. So we're looking at like a 6 cents or 7 cents or 8 cents, and eventually trying to hit here 10 cents if possible. But if Bitcoin pulls back, you'll see here like right on September 7th on the exact same day as this thing pulled back and then rallied. So this is heavily correlated with Bitcoin. So be careful, please. All right, just did 4 cryptos. Let's do Ethereum. ETH. So Ethereum is, and this is why my alerts were going crazy right now, is I was saying long entry support, like we'll just draw this bad boy. Okay. This alert was from like a week or two ago. And we drew the ascending triangle setup. Okay. And I was saying the long entry at trendline support. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Not just at trendline support is if it was going to come down, I would buy it there. But also I draw this pink line here to say this is our immediate support right here. Okay, so it's like flopping around right here for a couple days, and our target is the top of this resistance. Okay, so this is why I prepare for 2 sides of the trade. If we were not going to pull back down, then it's going to bounce off this 4,000 range and then try to hit this top side, which it did. Okay, so let me erase this so people are not confused. Ethereum. I watch Ethereum very, very carefully. Why? As an altcoin, it's always been a leader. It's outperformed Bitcoin as well. It's in a short-term daily 6-month ascending triangle pattern. If you know your TA, this is it. Okay, the first target is 40%. If this thing goes 40% upside, it's going to 6,500 Ethereum. If it does not hold this, then we're pulling back possibly to 4,000. Okay, so I'm going to write an alert here. Ethereum, $4,000 trendline support entry. Actually, I'm not going to say trendline. I'm just going to say support entry for long. Okay, because that's our new line in the sand for Ethereum bulls is, hooray, we broke above 4,000. Excellent. Excellent. Now we have to make sure we don't come down below that. So it's the name of the game. The fact that we hit this resistance, I would say probably half the people are going to start to get nervous, right? The charts are not completely overbought, high, but somebody's selling. Somebody's getting a little bit sketched out right now. Okay, because they don't want to get caught in a flash crash of negative 10% to downside negative 20%. So disciplined traders might be selling 25 to 50% because they're saying if we pull back down, that's fine. I'll stop myself out somewhere here above 4,200 like this. If somebody initiated a trade like in this zone, they're moving their stop loss up, way up, just in case, right? That's what you got to do. Manage the trade, and you still make money like that if you're in profit. If you're not in profit right now, is wait for the next low, wherever that's going to be. You draw intermediate trend line. Next low is 4269, right here, 4269. But again, always be careful of really obvious trades. Because look how long this thing has been going up. People had 30 days to try to do this, right, on Ethereum as Bitcoin was going up. So one of these times we're going to break down, like serious breakdown, all right? Because if we do not get upside continuation for the bulls, that's what I'm saying. If we don't get this happening within the next month or two, then it's going to fade down. It's going to lose momentum. And it's the example I always say, if you're trying to sell something on eBay or Craigslist and nobody's buying, that means the price is too high in that moment in time. So then what do markets and stores do? They sell, they mark down, the price comes down, then people will buy it again, right? So it's the same thing with cryptos and stocks. If the price is too high, there's no demand. Nobody wants to buy that thing. It's too high. So then the price has to come down and people start panic selling, and it makes the price go down, down, down until it becomes low enough that somebody says, hey, you know what? Right at around 3,700, that's pretty low price for now. I'm going to buy that thing. Yeah, I want that. And that's where I might enter in a long, 3,700. Okay. So let me put that in at USD, second long entry support. This is how we have less FOMO. I know I get really passionate and excited about it. So again, please keep in mind, I'm not flexing trades. Okay. I'm getting excited about future setups that nobody's even thinking about right now. There's a difference. So I'm getting excited for the next trade, the future. This blank side is if it comes down, ooh, that could be a nice long entry. Let's see what the risk to reward there is. Right? Maybe 10% to downside, 20% to upside for a retest. And if we get a real breakout, it's like that's going to be the last perfect spot to buy Ethereum. Right? If it goes to like 8,000 or something. So that's why I want to maybe not go long right here unless I see that, oh yeah, we're going to hold 44 or 4,300 and we're never going below that. Then it's like, okay, then I'll enter the long. Right now, 2 candles, not enough for me. Although we just barely got the resistance breakdown, we're trying to hold it so hard. 4,200, 4,000 is our big line in the sand. So please be aware of that on the charts. Just want to take this time. We'll go a little bit longer. I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. I have a free Discord group that's mainly focused on swing trading and investing and stocks and crypto. Okay, it's not like one of those, I just need to tell people, remind people, it's not one of those chat rooms where we like post our trades every 5 minutes or something like that. And I just try to reduce the FOMO for people. That's why you don't see me posting in there every day news and charts or past trades, like, because it causes mental and emotional FOMO for people. That's why I don't do that. I put the long charts, the long setups of stocks and crypto, and then I let the price do its thing. That's why I handle my chat room very differently than other people. All right, so if you like this stream, go ahead and give me a follow on any of those platforms, and we'll just keep moving here in the market. So if anybody has any more requests, please let me know. I'm probably going to go about 20 more minutes, 25 more minutes, and then we'll call it for this week. Okay, if nobody has requests, I'm just going to go down my own list. So while I'm waiting for that, let's do a quick flash visual of all the cryptos. I'm just going to do a quick lightning round. Take a sip of water. I'll get to the request right after this quick lightning round. So Bitcoin, we're only looking at price action now, okay? Bitcoin needs to hold above 60,000 resistance, support. That's all that needs to happen. If not, we could fade back down to anywhere above 50,000. Okay. Ethereum, again, I just said it needs to hold above the support of 4,400 to 4,000, or else we could see some significant pullback down to like 36 or 3,300. Binance Coin is pushing into its resistance zone, so which is up here, like a 630. All right, we did have a triangle breakout, and we called this that we're gonna test this and push up. All right, so I do this little green box here for a quick day trade. Whoever did this up 7%. But be mindful that this thing's at the top of that wedge. All right, this is not the safest place to go long. The safer place to go long was here at the double support at 450, as an example. ADA, we had we had the bear break to the downside. We hit our topside target pump, but we're still fading down on ADA. So ADA is in a daily downtrend. All right. I do TA here. I'll just say that. I do TA for future setups. It's educational only. All right. So right here, we hit that lower low. We hit that lower high, trying to establish a higher low. Okay. But on the daily, this is not the most flattering chart. Cardano already had its like nice run up. So just watch for the break of either $2 or 190. Sol, we already did Sol. But if it pulls back, then watch for a pullback down to 215. Dogecoin. Try to clean this up for people. Dogecoin. We did have the back test and it's fading down now. Not the clearest trend. So when something's not clear, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do anything yet. Because this could have just been Elon Musk tweet, you know. This was a support bounce with a real setup, right? But this is fading down now. And if I really draw the trend line, then okay, maybe 25.6 is our first level in the sand. If it really pulls back down, it's going to be like 22-ish. So it's either going to hold like a 26 or a 22, 20, or 16. Those are my levels on Doge that I'm watching for value. Okay, Uni, still kind of struggling. Uni's not in the clearest trend. It's trying to just consolidate to the side, but we have our two targets in the yellow circle. It's a plus or minus 6%. It just depends on which break are we going to get on the support and resistance. Because it was supposed to go up and then it just kind of lost power and went sideways. So now this yellow box is kind of that resistance. So there's obviously probably on the order book on the exchange, there's like a big whale, big market maker holding that. Litecoin, we already did this one. But basically Litecoin's in the triangle. Like that. So just watch out for Litecoin. Are we going to break out of resistance and retest? Or not? We're going to fade back down to 183. These two circles. Bitcoin Cash is always usually correlated with Bitcoin for the most part. Bitcoin Cash has been pretty weak though. The hype kind of died out on it. Probably related to Doge. But this thing's supposed to go plus or minus 30%. That's why we get these targets. Okay, but the first support is the line, the 475 here. So it's like sideways. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because I think the thing we need to realize with people is 2020 to early 2021, we're in a clear bull market. Clearly in a bull market. The past couple months, though, has been downtrend to consolidation, which means hesitation. That's not a clear market for the whole market, right? It might be Bitcoin and like Ethereum uptrend, but some of these other small altcoins like are just consolidating sideways. So it's not a complete bull market. Just want to point that out to people. That's why you can't just pick any coin and think it's going to go up, right? You have to be a little bit more selective right now during this time. So cash there, that's, you could see it's not Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin is up, cash is sideways. It's not the same. Link, we already did this one. It's kind of in this symmetrical triangle and a short-term up channel. And I would just be looking for, if it pulls back to like a 29.50 or a 27.25 for a nice long entry, longer term. But if it does break out, it looks like the target is like $36 to the top side. Algo is always tricky. Let me erase this because it's getting dirty. Very, very large bull pennant. It's almost like a weekly pennant like this. See that? So the whole market, altcoins are going sideways. So this is what I'm saying is people think this is happening in the market right now. It's not right now. If we're totally objective, we're going sideways on algo. But when the breakout occurs, though, it's going to be a nice plus or minus 20 to 40%. So it could go to 231 upside target, 143 downside target. This is a clear symmetrical triangle. This is like textbook. This thing is doing this or this. And so it just matters to me. I'm caring about the break. So actually, let me put an alert here. If we break above 2, I need to know that. Potential breakout entry long symmetrical triangle. And if it breaks down way below $1.75, I need to know that as well, because then we might get a bear break to the downside. Potential breakdown of support. Alrighty. And we can Fibonacci this for some additional levels. So it's just stuck right at the 382. It could go up 10% or down 10%. It's just tightening. So probably within the next 2 months, this thing's going to make its move. SHIB. So we already talked about SHIB in the past. The big news for right now is we lost this 7298 support, right? Oh, excuse me. We did lose it though. It was going to be our resistance breakout, but it failed and we got rejected to the downside. So remember on my stream, I don't know if you guys remember this. 6 days ago, I was saying we're probably going to get consolidation like that. And that's exactly what happened. On the stream, there is only this red candle. So I was saying it's going to consolidate and if it's going to go up or down. So it happened to bear break down. So since there's already downward momentum, because also the whale moved his billion-dollar position, and spooked the market, because if that guy's going to sell $5 billion of SHIB or $1 billion, that's going to create some volatility. So again, I'm saying I'm interested in SHIB at like a 3,000 range, the next level support down. So SHIB like 34.94 or something like that. Just somewhere in here if I could click it. Add alert here. It's my SHIB 618 fib long entry first spot for deep value. Okay, the most immediate day trade spot we just bounced off of is 4284, but that's so close right now. I'm not sure I'm gonna want to do that one. Maybe 2227 is the second spot. SHIB 0.76 long entry number 2. Right, and then third. Yeah, we'll look at AJ. So yeah, I really need to talk about SHIB because like somebody is gonna, get swept up in the FOMO and the hype. So that's why I need to spend a lot of time on SHIB. So 1507 is my third entry if it ever gets down there. And don't be surprised. You're like, people might think it's never gonna go down that much. Come on, it's SHIB. It's not even 1 cent. Any big amount of money sell-off can crush this thing. Position 3. Entry. So now that you see, I just used just a basic intermediate to advanced tool, but I'm pre-planning action. You see that? These are not random spots. These are mathematically calculated. And the ultimate spot, if it ever comes back down to 900. Okay, but I'll probably know if it comes down to 900. But day traders, they're just gonna scalp this baby coin, I call it, just as much as possible, right? So whenever it gets low, the robots and the day traders are like, boom, they're gonna enter and scalp that thing. They're gonna try to get there like 10-50%. Okay. But for me as a swing trader, I'm like, I don't care about that. I want the I want the lowest low in the longer term time frame because that's the higher chance of making money. Right? 1 minute, who cares about that for me? I'm not a scalper. I like most people, they need to make more than 2% profit. You know what I'm saying? So SHIB, be careful. I'm not going to do every single coin, but I'll just show you some thought process. So again, we drew this pattern on Matic, and the upside down head and shoulders target was 30%, and we hit the 30%. And so I drew these in blue. You can see I really drew these in blue. Two scenarios, whoever's going to try to do this one. I said if we watch for the immediate break here in these blue dots, and we broke up just a couple weeks ago, and then I said if it's flagging, watch for the retest of here and what happens here, and we broke to the upside to our target. So this is done now. This is over. Now I'm looking for potential downside to our $1.77. X marks the spot support level right there. So I'm going to put an alert there. I know other day traders are looking right at that spot, the robots. What is this? Trend line support entry. Like that. Okay. I'll do ENJ just in case someone has to go. So we'll do ENJ. All right. Yeah. So we do have big things with ENJ. Okay. There could be fundamental reasons, but eventually with crypto, that gets priced into the chart. So meaning that whatever happens in the real world is just going to show up on ENJ on the chart. So I just want to point out to people on a different chart, a Hiobi versus a Binance. Right? You can see Hiobi. There's some additional price action here. Just want to point that out. On Binance, though, it's at the resistance spot. So ENJ to me is just, I'm going to treat it just the same as Bitcoin, right? Because even with the big news, this thing didn't moon, right? So that means it's already been priced in my opinion. So traders are like, okay, when it happens, it happens. But if you look at the larger pattern here is you could see if we don't break above 330, this thing can pull back down significantly. And it's already flagging here. So I'm not discounting it's never going to happen. But I'll play the two scenarios out. If we bear break down, if this flag fails, then we're pulling back all the way down to 222. In the middle, if we have a real bad crash in the market, then we're going to pull back to like 150. I would buy in the 150 range if I'm trying to long this for a swing trade. Get some alerts. Trend line support entry. Long entry. This is how I pre-plan my trades. This is how you get ahead of everybody. Because if Bitcoin's going to top out and pull back down, this thing's most likely going down as well. Also, it's in a higher high spot at a resistance, so it makes sense that it's going to try to do this up here. It's going to try to do this somewhere here, and then if it fails, it's going to pull back down just like Cardano. So if I pretend that this is the top right here at $3.50, then yeah, right here at this 50% to 618, I'll start good for you guys. Right in this zone is where swing traders are looking to get their longs in. Investors are looking for just lowest price ever. They're looking for that. But for swing trading, I'm looking right somewhere right here in the middle. So I would probably put mine at like a 223 area. J, 50%, 618, support level long entry. Right? Because this is why TA is very useful. Because even if there's, for stocks too, if there's a very good piece of news, but the price doesn't go anywhere, that means it's already been priced into the market. And then if the price literally doesn't move up, is like, okay, yeah, I'm not longing that right there. Because this is a very dangerous spot. You know why, right? Because if it doesn't go up, it's going straight down. Negative 25 to negative 50%. That's how somebody could get wrecked. So please be careful on these types of things. Okay. I did Doge and SHIB. I went up to Matic. I'm not going to do all of them unless somebody has a particular request. So let's just finish up with some stocks, okay? Because we're still in stock earnings. I'm going to close here on stocks. So we'll just look at the indexes really fast, maybe some gold. So DJI, Dow Jones Index. We're still in stock earnings for about 2 to 3 more weeks. Okay, the big companies have already reported, so we survived. We survived. The big news is the Federal Reserve is going to start their tapering program of bonds at the end of the month. That was confirmed this week on the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. It's a big deal. So basically, they're going to end the stock market stimulus. Okay, so it's a very, very big deal in the stock market world. It's huge. Because if you realize the reason we stopped the market crash here is because the FOMC Federal Reserve saved the stock market, saying they're going to inject the market with stocks with economic stimulus. So they are literally saying they're going to stop it. They're literally going to stop it the end of this month. Okay, so do not be surprised if the stock market crashes. I'm going to say it today. All right, do not be surprised if we fall in the market. Okay, or if we just get a deep pullback, one more, just don't be surprised if that happens. So please be aware, everyone, in the next couple months. So if we draw our big trend lines like this and we put some support and stuff, AXS, okay, right, our big resistance, if we happen to go there, is like a 37,000 or 36,800. Okay, that's our bull target, the top of the trend line. But if we happen to pull back, we could pull back all the way down to 34,500 or like a 35,000. Okay, so I'm looking for more, because I already traded stocks up in here like this in this blue circle, so that's over for me now. Now what I'm looking ahead is like, okay, are we going to pull back intraday or not? Right, because it's not a low area of value right now. We're in a high spot of value. All right, so just try not to make the mistake a lot of beginners make, is they see a lot of green and they think, oh, we're just going to keep going green up. It's like, no, the experienced advanced traders or pro traders, like we all bought down here. You know what I'm saying? I remember on stream, I bought stocks right here in this spot. For people who are thinking like, why? Well, there's a real setup here. That's why. And it's low. I'm not huge on buying high. I'm huge on selling high and shorting down high. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Right? So just be careful of that. Okay. So again, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. It's just I'm explaining the thought process of my previous trades so people can learn. SPX. Okay, SPX. It's kind of funny. This is like bulls. This is the very definition of bulls. Like when bulls want something to go up, like it goes up, you know. So, but what I'm seeing here is a daily Elliott wave, 5-wave pattern. We're already in the 5th wave. So we could get the ABC correction starting soon. Maybe not that down, but ABC like that correction. So be careful on stocks, everybody. This is educational only, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm trying to be objective here. It's hitting a relative top on the S&P. I'm thinking more longer term right now in the market. So if I include the pandemic high, yep, see right there, just touching that high resistance point. So watch out for that. Like that. Now you see we're in a more intermediate channel. And if I draw a longer term trend line, like reverse style, you can see multiple scenarios playing out now. All right, wherever all-time high is going to be, that's gonna play out. But you want to make sure you just psychologically and mentally prepare for some of this downside. Yeah, okay, we could pierce up to the 2618 here. We could keep going. I'm not saying it's going to stop, but eventually you might top out and round down over here somewhere. I'm saying like 3-6 months from now. So please be careful. Please be mindful, everybody, of that. On the indexes, NASDAQ. So yeah, I drew this a couple of days ago just for my own personal use. And you can see that the target, this is how trend lines target works. You either use the resistance, horizontal, and the horizontal line for support. This is how I knew, like, okay, we're at some kind of level of support net right now. So I'm going to long this area, some stocks. And then I sold just here on discipline. I don't really care that it goes higher. It's fine. I made my profit and I'm out here. Right? So again, try not to be so emotional or mental, right? Or affected by news and hype. Is you just trade the charts. You need to know technical analysis, be disciplined with a smaller position size, never all in. Small position size, stop loss, and take profit orders. And then you stick to those If all those steps are correct, then you should be profitable on that one trade, right? If any of those spots is incorrect, then basically like that's how you lose money. So first step is you got to be good on TA first. Not about how much money you have. That doesn't matter actually. Um, for in terms of like being profitable, it's not about the money size. No, I'm never gonna touch Squid Coin ever. Um, for multiple reasons. We'll end with that on the end. But you know, there's that news of that guy in Asia. He lost $30,000, all his life savings on Squid Coin. That's why I'm never gonna touch that. Um, so I only trade stuff on USA exchanges. So I only trade 60 coins. That makes it very easy on me. All the rest of the 500 and 5,000 coins, like, doesn't matter to me in US. Makes life easy. So right here with IXIC is, again, we did have this breakout. So, okay, fine, it's good. If we do breakout here, great. We need to retest and really maintain and hold this level of support that this thing should never break down. But if it breaks down, obviously you look at all this downside right here. So 15,381, 15,059, 14,751 are all downside targets. If this thing tops out and nobody wants to buy up here anymore, oh no, Fed tapering, right? And then you just fall back down to here. So just be careful. Russell 2000, finally we broke out of our horizontal channel. All right, so this is a very good textbook example. This is like literal textbook of a parallel channel that finally gets breakout resistance. Okay, so breakout play, meaning that right here. It's only been 3 days though, so it's not really huge. But we've been stuck in this triangle for in the parallel channel for so long, the whole year. 11 months of just sideways. And finally, we get a pattern that breaks out to the upside. So now with Russell 2000, our line in the sound is 2354 right here. Okay, 2354. And it could be like Netflix broke out and boom, and it maintained its uptrend pattern. But if not, you could see all this black space could be room for a downside pullback. But we need to, this one candle is not enough for me. It looks like it wants to pull back down to 2362, but unless it breaks down significantly, like, I'm not going to short Russell 2000 just yet. I'm going to short it once we break down below here. That's what a lot of experienced people do. I'm not going to short it here because we could just bounce like that. Aggressive shorts would start now, but not yet. Okay, we'll look at DXY. All right, so I remember someone was talking about Elliott wave on DXY a little while back. But for me, all I needed to know was my style is there's a resistance right here, okay? Or not just my style, but it's classic technical analysis. Like, if you really study the origins of technical analysis, like I'm doing it right now, okay? This is like how I have a higher win rate than other people because I use like real TA. What am I saying? Like, questionable TA would be something like this. If somebody just draws a line like this, like that's nothing. Or if somebody does this like that, okay, that's not TA. I'm sorry, that's not TA. Right? You get your support resistance. For me, you could also draw a parallel channel. Very easy. Parallel channel. And you see here, this price bouncing off here, that's not random, right? So if you turn it off, you're not going to see that. You turn it on and you draw something, you draw trend lines. Now you see why this is happening. Now you see. Now we see. Okay, so trend line bounce, support levels holding. DXY in its ascending channel wedge. Ascending wedge, basically. So if it's going to break out, it might go 1.78% right here, 1.86%. Okay, so that's our next topside target right here on DXY, which would mean we might get a pullback in the market. So be very careful of that. Although it hasn't happened yet. So the 95 spot hasn't been broken yet. So I'm just kind of wary of that. I'm just being mindful of that. Okay, gold. For new people, okay, first thing is TA, buy like a technical analysis encyclopedia. Don't start with the biography books. Like, don't do that, right? Trading View, you're already here. If you're already on Trading View, you have a huge advantage over other people who like don't know anything about technical analysis. But the first thing you need to understand is what is technical analysis, and like the first page of that book would probably be, and I might write a book someday, is technical analysis is the study and analysis of price and volume. Okay. Technical analysis is the study of price and volume of financial assets. So notice that I didn't say we're talking about indicators. That's nowhere in that definition. You know what I mean? It's not about the indicators first. It's about the price. So you need to understand price. How do you understand price? Well, what are candlesticks? What is trend? What are patterns? All of that would be in some kind of technical analysis encyclopedia on Trading View or a book or Google or YouTube, right? So try to study that first. Just avoid all the people who say like, oh, I made $1 million this year. It's like, okay, good for them, right? So again, it seems like you just came to the stream right now. Is I always tell people technical analysis is like sports and music and boxing, okay? So it's the same kind of question. It's like, how do I get good at basketball or football? It's like, well, you could, you know, just watch basketball, right? But then at a certain point, you need to play basketball. You need to learn it for yourself. How do you hold the ball? How do you dribble the ball? You need to buy a ball for yourself. Go down to the park or wherever, your gym, and start shooting. Learn from a coach. Learn from a book. Play with other people. Practice, right? It's the same deal like any other skill in life. Music is the same way, right? Actually, I use boxing because I always tell people Wall Street crypto market is the Olympics of financial markets. So how is someone a pure beginner going to get into the ring and try to fight the number one champions of the world? We're going to get knocked out. Someone's going to get knocked out, right? So try to prepare and learn and study and paper trade here on TradingView and study these tools and indicators and the price as much as you can before you risk your money in the market. Because if you make 10 wrong trades and you don't know what you're doing, you just lost all your money. You're never going to get it back. That account, right? That account's blown up, so to speak. So be careful of that. Be very careful of that. Trading is one of the only jobs where you could jump in with the professionals and start buying and selling and trading against professionals, right? You can't do that. Like if you're trying to become a doctor or a lawyer, you can't just jump in and day one you're a doctor. It's like, no, you got to go to school day one to become a doctor or lawyer. If you want to be a financial manager, you got to go to school for that. You want to be a money manager, a mutual fund manager, you need like 5-7 years experience of study. You have to pass 3 tests. It's like law school. You're fighting against those people in the market, in stocks. Crypto, you're fighting against $1 million algorithms, the market makers. That's who you're fighting against. So I would say study technical analysis encyclopedia and more like older technical analysis. You'll find it. And then here on TradingView, I'll just say with TradingView, okay? TradingView is like the best. I love TradingView so much, honestly, because you get everything you need is here. Let me give a quick rundown, right? Let me go back to Bitcoin because a lot of people are international Bitcoin traders. Let's go Bitstamp. That's what I love about TradingView. First is with your free account. I see a lot of people here with the free account, right? You could look up the day chart, the daily charts for cryptos and stocks for free, right? So if you're really experienced on technical analysis, like you don't have to draw 2 lines or 1 line, and I know, oh yeah, this is a place to buy Bitcoin right here, 42,000. I'm long right here, 42,000. If you're extremely experienced, if you're a beginner, probably nobody would know that. Or more experienced people know this is the resistance zone. This is the top for now of Bitcoin. So do I want to all in my money right here? Not really in the short term, right? I might all in investment if Bitcoin ever gets down to here, right? In this zone, if you're a hodler, a swing trader, I'm looking all in, not all in, but go long somewhere in the 47 to 50,000s down here or here, right? So TradingView has the tools you need. You just need to learn it. You need to study it. So all these tools here, once you figure out like what are price and candles, then it's like, well, what are all these tools? I'm the type of person, I've tested and I've used every single tool on the left bar here. That's the type of guy I am. I'm like, what is this? What is cross? What's dot? What's arrow? What's the eraser? What the heck does this thing do? Right? Then I'm like, okay, what's next? What's trend line? What is that? Then I look it up. What's extended line? Why do I need that? What's a parallel channel? What is this thing? What's regression? Well, you don't need to know regression trend in the beginning, but you know, the basics. What's a trend line? What is this? Why do I need that? How is that useful? Right? Those are the types of questions that just be curious. What is this? What's this thing? Fibonacci retracement. What the heck is this thing? Right? Why is it important? All of it's available on the internet. It's just a matter of, can you just study and learn it? Brush tool is just obvious drawing tools. And then for the more advanced stuff, like what's Elliott wave? What's Fibonacci? This is the most important tool ever. Long position, risk management. This is the most important tool, I would say, ever created. Because this is going to teach you, if you finally understand risk management, you'll understand that you'll never go all in on a swing trade or a day trade. You'll never go all in. Unless it's the lowest low price in history of time. But rarely do you go all in financial markets because, so sorry about that, right? You have to think about it. If you put all your money into a trade and you are wrong on the trade and it goes down -10, -25%, you sell, you just lost -10 to -25% on your whole account. And then you have to make back 11 to 27% to make that money back. And in crypto, that doesn't happen every single day. You know what I'm saying? You make that mistake 4 times, you lost all your money. That's why do not go all in if you're a beginner. Don't do it. Don't do that. That's how people just lose their money. They quit the market, and the market maker wins. The big money wins. The algorithm wins, right? The general rule for trading is you only risk 1 to 2% of your account. If you have a $10,000 account, okay, you only risk 100 or $200 stop loss per trade. Does that make sense? And people are like, oh, I'm never gonna make money like that. Well, it's like, that's how I know somebody's not experienced, right? The pros, if you become advanced professional someday, it's like, yeah, you could change that percentage, but that's after you have like some serious discipline training of long position, of this risk management. This is not risk management, okay? Like when you have a stop loss, 100% stop loss is like, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? If you're an investor hodler, if you're trying to hodl for 10 years, is different. If you're an investor, the stop loss is 25% to downside, because once you hit 25% risk to downside, that means you're in a bear market territory. If any asset crashes and closes down below 25%, you'll hear CNBC say you're in a down bear market conditions. Because for me, I have to keep reminding people, I bought Bitcoin back here at like 9, 10,000, 11,000 on this ascending triangle setup. I bought the breakout. Then I sold here at the upper 60,000s. Based on technical analysis and the massive mental illogical hype of people online saying that Bitcoin's going $1 million right here. I'm like, no, it's not. The charts tell me we're going down. Right? People are thinking Doge going to $5 right on this day at like April, May. And I'm like, but the charts are telling me we're going down. So I sold everything. But if somebody happened to buy here at 65,000, which somebody might have because somebody bought here, right? If you do this all-in type of thing, you would be down 55%, and then you would just luckily, make your money back now. That's why some people who made the mistake of holding at 60,000, they resold at 60,000 because they just want their money back, right? So there's that problem too in the market. Sometimes that happens. So for me, I'm not the type to just let my capital draw down -55%. Why would I ever do that? It's a waste of money and time, right? So what I'm doing is, that's why I'm no FOMO charts. Swing trading is, you gotta wait you gotta get your setups, your TA setups. And right here, I'm looking for 53, 52. That's what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking for low. If I could short crypto, I might short a little bit, right? Because it's like, well, if you don't break above this 65, 66,000, where else are we gonna go? Go sideways like we are now. Go flag right now. So the market's very, very undecided right now. Okay, so sometimes I get a little preachy, but it's because I have a lot of experience in crypto and stocks. I've seen so many people blow up their accounts. They tell me story after story, like, why did I do this? Like the guy who invested $30,000 squeak coin and it went to zero, he just lost all his life savings, right? We never, I'm sorry to hear it for that guy, right? But if he had a stop loss, that would never, well, I mean, squeak coin is a unique situation where it went to zero and very fast. But you have to realize with crypto, that could happen on any crypto. That's the risk you're taking in the crypto market. Any altcoin can get delisted and now it lost like 50% of its value. That can happen to any of these. You have to realize. Because if it could happen to XRP and Bitcoin could get banned in China, nothing is safe in crypto. You have to know that. If you invest in crypto, in stocks, everyone, the general advice is you can lose some or all of your investment at any time. So it's better to try to be patient and wait for a low if you're trying to be a long investor, a long trader. Day trading's different. Scalping and day trading's different. I don't even do that stuff anymore. So like I'm trying to get value. Like I bought Bitcoin here. I was telling people on stream, you could try to long 44,000 right there, and it happened to be the breakout spot, right? Just so happened to be a breakout spot. I called that on stream September 30. Anybody wants to verify, you can rewind. Right? We ended up going 50%. Beautiful. 40%. Very nice. But the fact that we're at this top trend line resistance is like, as a long, I'm not too excited about this spot right here. Because there's resistance here and there's resistance here. So I'm more interested down here. Stocks too. Go back to SPY. I'm not really interested in longing this spot right here. Why? It's so overextended. You're an all-time high breakout. I'm talking about for a trade, like for just a 1 or 2 week sweep trade. I'm not really excited up here. You know what I'm saying? I was getting excited in my own mind because I know, oh yeah, we got some low spot here. And then when I saw this upside down head and shoulders happen, I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely going up. Then I started getting excited. Down here though, at the blue. That was my trend line support. See that? So I'm getting excited. That's why if you know charts and TA, you should get excited about chart setups, not about news and what people are saying online. The hype is usually wrong, generally, in general. Okay, so I'm not trying to bring people down. Okay, I try to just tell people the straight up truth of crypto stocks and the charts. I try to be objective in getting the next trade set up, and I just tell people the trade set up for educational purposes on stream, and you could do whatever you want with it. All right. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me on stream and watching. Okay, this is educational only. I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. I'm a longer term trader, swing trade and investment full time for crypto and stocks. So if you want to follow me on any of these 4 platforms, please go ahead and do so. If you really liked this and you learned something, please consider giving me a cheer or donation online through TradingView or YouTube. It's always appreciated to keep the streams going. So this is going to be it for the stream this week. Oh, AXS. This is going to be the last one. This is going to be the last one. Sorry, I forgot about this one. If you're talking about crypto, please include the pairing. Because AXS happens to also be a stock in New York and Amsterdam and London, right? So please be very, very specific which one it is. Just let me know before we end. Is crypto? Okay, so AXS, probably USDT. I'll do USD. Okay. So AXS. I actually remember this one, Binance. Yeah. So AXS. Let's First thing again is just poke around here on the charts. Make sure you get a good one. Ooh, this one was really pumping on, I mean, volatile on Bitfinex. What was going on there? All right, we'll use Binance. It's just the longest like one I'm seeing here. I'll just do the trading view chart. It's fine. All right, so AXS USD, it a clear weekly uptrend, but again, it's establishing its weekly higher high. So this pattern. This pattern, right? So you have to be very, very honest with yourself. Just like put the news and hype aside, the emotions, the news. You just relax and breathe and objectively look at the charts and then ask myself, is this a high or is this a low in the weekly? In my opinion, this is a high. So as a long-term investor, I'm talking a hodler or a very long swing trader, I might not load up and buy AXS here. I would try to buy it on the next pullback down. It could take 6 months from now, but that's what separates the beginners from the pros. Okay, is if you are believe in the coin and you understand its fundamentals and it's good, then it's just a matter of the price. Is this the good time? Oh, no. Is this a good low price at this time? Right now, it's at an all-time high almost. So the momentum looks like it's flagging right now. You could get some upside continuation, but for me, I want to see some lower spot of value than this, right? Because it could pull back. It's like a Solana. It could pull back all the way down, honestly, to like 50 or 100. Those are the two big downside supports on this guy. 100 and 50. And you can see it matches the support levels on the left side. There's also an intermediate, right? Intermediate. So now you box it in like that. It's like, okay. And then you just give yourself two scenarios. We hit our relative low on September 22. So that's why this thing started to pump up. This is not the most liquid coin. How do I know this? You could see on the candles, right? It's a lot of bots trading. So I'd be extra careful on AXS. Okay, I just know this from experience. There's not that much volume, and the style of what's happening on the candles, I know this is controlled by bots and market makers. So it's in such a stair-step support resistance pattern. This could just be because it's a trading view chart. Let me just double check that on Binance. Yeah, it could have just been the it could have just been that trading view chart. So let me just back up here. It's still the same idea. It's at a higher high, but immediate pullback could be like a 131. This is a better chart. Okay, so 131. And then you have this on the top side. It really reminds me of Solana. So if it pulls back, it's like a 131, 135, or 117. If it really crashes down 82 or 68, hopefully that never happens. But if it holds this, which it looks like it's trying to do right now with the flag, you can measure the flag. This is TA. This is a real technical analysis pattern. It's not random. It's plus or minus 17%. So if it goes up, it's going to 175. If it goes down from the triangle breakout, I mean the flag breakdown, it's going straight down to 100. So that's quite a bit of volatility. That's like a 25 to 30%, that sounds like crypto. All right, but even this pattern, this is at the top of the pattern, and it's at the top of the weekly all-time high. So it's at the top of everything I'm looking at right now. Right? So the only way this thing's going to break out is you need some bull power to just crush all the resistances and push up to 150, 175, 200. Maybe it's going to happen. At this second in time, though, it looks like it's actually double topping at the resistance. So I would look for 122 to be an entry. 122. All right, I can't trade this coin, so I'm not going to set an alert for myself. If you want to, feel free. But again, if we lose 120, 100, there's some major downside potential on AXS. Okay. So be careful. Okay, super last one, cents. All I'm going to say is, I'm assuming this is crypto, and you just hit the all-time high resistance on cents. So please be very careful on cents. Please be very careful. All right, once you hit an all-time high like that, then you start looking to the downside. If it gets rejected, okay, this kind of reminds me of like Ethereum a couple months ago. Is if this is that larger term ascending triangle, you could see here that this thing could have major downside potential. Day traders are going to obviously keep this thing alive. It's going to keep bouncing and stuff inside, obviously. But if this thing starts fading, like just if we're just obvious with their objective, is how long did this fade take from top to bottom? May to September. So what is that? 4 months. So 4 months from now, what is that? November, February, right? So February, somewhere right here, it could fade down to right here. So I'll look for 94 cents as a very, very long-term setup on cents. Because investors, they're like, I just drew the pattern for you. If you're patient enough to wait for this thing, if it ever gets down here after doing this, I would long it somewhere here, 80, 90 cents. If it ever gets down to back down here, like a 46 cents, I'll long it there as well. It's probably going to stop somewhere right in the middle. So somewhere here, I'll look for that. Okay. But if not, if all coins go crazy up in the next 3 months, then it's going to break out and retest. So this thing, 250, might eventually become the ceiling. I mean, the floor. You know what I mean? Like that. If that happens, that's one setup. If not, it's going to pull back down, straight down to here. Okay, guys? All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow if you like or donate. And I hope you have a nice weekend. I'll see you next week. And thanks so much. Bye-bye.